It's Rock the Bells Radio. You know we come with that classic timeless hip hop. Listen, man, anytime I crack the mic and have a guest here, you know it's somebody that I highly respect. You know it's somebody that's of that cloth, of that pedigree. A lot of times it's somebody that I was even inspired by, and I'm so blessed to be able to sit in this seat on LL's Rock the Bells and talk to so many of my favorite artists, entrepreneurs, actors, authors, you know what I mean? Movie stars, TV stars. Make some noise, man. Fredro Starr is in the damn building today. Fredro, what up?
What's good? What's poppin', Torae? Come on, man.
I'm feeling good, man. Thank you for being here first and foremost.
No doubt. You know Rock the Bells, man. Like I said, Rock the Bells is all I listen to, man. So it's a pleasure to be here. I love this station. I love what you're doing, keeping real hip hop alive. Real rap is back too.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Just to let you know.
So before we even get into the conversation, I was telling a homie of mine that I had you come into the show, whatever, and I was, we just fans. Before I made a song, shot a video, any of that shit, just a supporter and just a fan of this shit, right? Mm-hmm. And I was like, yo, Fredro is pulling up, it's gonna be dope, da-da-da-da. And he was like, yo, I didn't know he made beats. And I was like, you've been producing from day one, you know what I'm saying? But he was like, nah, I just saw something recently on his gram and he's making beats and the beats is crazy. And I'm like, so many amazing talents that you have. So it's dope that people are still finding out new chapters, no pun, of your story, man.
No doubt. Yeah. I've been doing beats, man. If you want to get on that, All We Got Is Us, second album.
Yeah.
Bacdafucup is the first album produced by the late Shot Skills, the great Shot Skills.
Sure.
He passed away, but I picked up an SB1200, fell in love with making beats, and one of the illest beats I produced was a record called Last Days for Onyx on the All We Got Is Us album. Like I said, that beat was in the movie 8 Mile. Eminem was rapping on the beat in the movie, and I was like, wow. Eminem is rapping on my beat, one of the illest rappers ever, right? So I said, I might have something at this production thing, you know what I mean? But then hip-hop changed for a minute, and then it kind of went down south a little bit, and I'm a boom bap. That's all I do is boom bap beats. And I stopped making beats for about 20 years because it wasn't, it wasn't in style, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So real rap is back, you know what I'm saying? Shout to Griselda. They kind of spearheaded the new movement for real hip-hop.
For sure.
Then 50 years of hip-hop came. Then once 50 years of hip-hop came, I'm doing shows with MC Shan. I'm doing shows with G. Then real rap really was back.
Right.
Then I was like, yo, time to pick up the beat machine. So I've been going crazy for the last probably year or two. Going crazy with the MPC, going crazy, you know what I'm saying?
Sidebar, we got to, we got to cook up too. Sidebar, you know what I'm saying?
No, your pack is on the way, for
sure. For sure. Last Days, you said Eminem, one of the greatest rappers, right? But that's one of the greatest beats. Like that's like a freestyle cheat code.
Yeah.
If you go to the station, they put Last Days on. Even if you're not that good, you're gonna sound good over there.
I seen some incredible Charlie Clips killed that.
Boss.
Oh yeah, he killed that. To me, and there was the girl, she killed it. This girl killed it so crazy, it went viral. But peace to all the people who's doing the Last Days freestyle. It's called Last Days. If you never heard the beat, go on YouTube. It's an instrumental. Blaze it. Last Day Challenge. Let's get the Last Days Challenge freestyle right now. We're going to set it off right now. The Last Days Challenge.
Matter of fact, we're going to get into the original so you know what it sound like. Now, don't come nothing less than what this sound like right here. Do this or go even crazier. Fredro Starr is here. It's Rock the Bells Radio. It's Rock the Bells Radio. Torae is here. Fredro Starr is here. Coming with that classic timeless hip hop. So we got into just the conversation of the music just because that's how we talk, that's how we build. But the reason I hit you is because I saw you had this book, The Story of Onyx, Bacdafucup. And when I saw that and I saw you reading excerpts from it and kind of talking about the story, I was already intrigued just because it's my era, it's what I came up on. But as you were giving these passages from the book, I was like, oh, nah, this is crazy. We got to get him to pull up and talk about it. So tell me why the book and why now?
We've been in the game for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Jam Master Jay put us in the game. Rest in peace to Jay, man.
Great Jay, for sure.
Jam Master Jay he saw something in us. And 30 years later, I'm a survivor in hip hop. A lot of people not here. A lot of people can't tell their story. You know what I'm saying? I'm still here. So I'm gonna tell my story. This book, I wrote it myself. Like, I know a lot of people have biograph, but then they sit with somebody and they do interviews. But when they do that, I think they lose the details, the tiny details. Because as I was writing this book, there was so much stuff I was leaving out, and I had to put back in. Like one instance, my mother was like, "You remember that time you and your cousin Charlie had to they had to dance because we didn't have enough money to get the Christmas tree one year.
Mm.
And I was like, no, I forgot about that story. My mom's told me about the story, then I forgot.
Yeah,
Oh,
jog
yeah.
your memory, right.
So we didn't have enough money for a Christmas tree. The dude said, you guys know how to break dance? Yo, Beat Street was one of my favorite movies, right? I got into my lead thing. I was lead. You know what I mean? And we got the Christmas tree. Those little stories make up Back the Fuck Up.
Crazy.
That little story because it was hip hop, and that's part of the 5 elements, breakdancing.
For sure.
And that was my first show.
Crazy.
That was my first time that I earned something from doing hip hop.
Right.
If you look at it, the little things.
Yeah.
So I wrote this book. It took a long time, and it will be 3 books. I'm gonna write Back the Fuck Up, the first album, because that era in my life was that era, and then All We Got Is Us, the second album. It's another era in my life, and then Shut 'Em Down was another era in my life. Those 3 albums we did under Def Jam. So those are the 3 books I'm gonna write.
Now, I've been following Onyx and listening to all the stuff y'all did, from Snow Goons to, major label to indie to all of that. But those first 3 Def Jam albums is so fucking special, bro. They so classic. The music that came from them, the movements, obviously, I think you get Last Days in Walking New York, which is like New York City hip-hop classics. Obviously, Throw Your Guns and Shifty and all of those, first joints that were hit records that came out the box. And then you get to the Shut 'Em Down era and the Shut 'Em Down remix, and you get React. And you know what I'm saying? Like the first time people see Fifth and all of that. Your history is unrivaled in this business. Do you feel like your level of respect and notoriety is in alignment with everything that you've given?
I would say no, and I would say yes to that, because I feel like as far as notoriety, as far as on a level of the big rappers, like for instance Nas, Jay-Z, these are guys that are in my era. Tupac, you know what I'm saying? Nobody was doing movies except for me and Tupac when we came out in '92. Let's keep it real. Like, you know what I'm saying? There was no dude from New York on films. Forrest Whitaker put me in a movie. The Grace of God, Jam Master Jay put me in a room with Forrest Whitaker, and I made that happen. But I will say this: when I'm on tour, when I see the fans and I'm on stage, I feel like the king has arrived. The energy they give me is the gratification to say, okay, I do feel respect. I am getting the just love because when I perform, the crowd goes crazy. Yeah. So it's a yes and a no to that question for me.
The crazy part is, though, or the blessing in it all, is that you still here. Those records are still able to pay your bills. You still selling out. Like, I toured overseas for 20 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like you touch down in them foreign lands and, you know what I mean? It's 50,000, it's like 93, 94 all over
That's
again type shit.
I mean? They respect it overseas a lot. That's
they really get to it. We get into it right now, man. Fredro Starr's here. We got so much to talk about. Make sure you keep it where you need it. It's LL Cool J's Rock the Bells Radio. Coming with that classic timeless hip hop, your boy Torae is here, Fredro is here. You talked about being in films and television. Was that something that you always wanted to do?
No.
Cause you were TV, like Moesha was a huge show.
Big,
you know what I'm saying?
Huge.
Like you had a huge role on a huge show.
Yeah,
that's still in syndication.
Yeah, still in syndication.
You might be on TV right now. Turn channel.
No,
Turn
for
channel.
sure. I'm on TV right now, for sure. There's because you put so much work in, you might see Save the Last Dance on a plane. You might see, Moesha,
Sunset Park.
Yeah, all that, But I never wanted to be an actor. There was, like I said, there was a movie called Beat Street, right? And Lee was my favorite character. I wanted to be Lee, everything about him. He had the Kango. He was breakdancing. He was fly. Yeah. And I was a little kid looking up to him. So he was kind of like my first hero. Like, yo, I want to be like this dude in a movie. You know what I'm saying? But I never thought that I would be actually on television. But there was this one day, we was at Def Jam. And Jam Master Jay was like, yo, there's this audition for a movie called Strapped. And my friend Forrest Whitaker, and Russell was there, Russell Simmons. He said, my friend Forrest Whitaker is directing his first movie. He's looking for young talent. So we all went in there, Onyx, we all went in there with a paper, it's called Sides, with your lines, we go in there. So we all in there, everybody goes in the room. And when I went in the room, Forrest Whitaker just like looked at me and was just like, he looked at me, I'm looking at like, why is this man looking through me?
Right.
He was like, yo, do that again. And I did the line again. He was like, I'm going to put you in this movie if you're serious. Can you be serious? And I looked him in his eye and said, yeah, I'll be serious. And he took the chance with me, and we made an incredible movie with Bokeem Woodbine called Strapped. And you think about Strapped. Strapped had a lot of hip-hop artists in that movie.
For sure.
Chia Lee,
For sure.
Yo-Yo, Busta Rhymes,
Mm-hmm.
Kumo D,
Mm-hmm.
Daz Effects.
Damn, Daz, word.
Yeah, Diggity Dig This. I got Nas and Tex. Remember that?
Yeah, hell yeah.
So, Forrest Whitaker, he kept it live for the culture.
For sure.
And then Jam Master Jay put a whole bunch of Onyx songs from Back the Fuck Up in the movie,
Right.
which was ingenious because now those records from Back the Fuck Up are in the movie. He kind of like crossed it together, and that was the start of my acting career.
Crazy. And then from there, what steps did you take? Because you are inspiration to me, like you said. You and Pac, and I always throw Latifah in there, and I throw Cube in there, and LL, of course. The reason that I wanted to rap, be on Def Jam, and then go into TV and movies is because of you. It's because of L. It's because I patterned so much of my shit after my favorites. I was like, you got to dominate. You got to be the best MC you could be. And then you're going to do this, and you're going to get this notoriety. And then that TV door open for you.
Yeah,
and so
that's how you do it.
you tell me the steps you took once you decided to take acting seriously.
Well, like I said, I never thought about acting, and I never went to acting school.
Word.
I kind of learned on the set. So
That's
so,
crazy.
So at the strap, I was kind of hot, had a little steam on me.
He was hot.
And then there was an audition for a movie called Sunset Park with Rhea Perlman about a point guard from Brooklyn. I was like, point guard from Brooklyn? I'll say, hold up, wait a minute. Because the point guard is, and his name was Shorty Doo-Wop. I'm not the tallest guy in the world, you know what I mean?
You got big spirit, you got big energy.
So Shorty Doo-Wop might work.
It worked for me.
I went to the audition, and I just had the fire, like I gotta get this. And it was heavy competition. It wasn't a walk in the park. But I had strapped already. And a lot of guys didn't have that acting role. So I had a lot of, the casting directors could see. There was a casting director named Jackie Brown, and she believed in me. She put me in Strap. She put me in Sunset Park, and Jackie Brown saw something in me, and she gave me a chance. And I proved myself when I did Sunset Park because we made a classic. Sunset Park, what time is it? It's time to get live. Time to represent. I mean, we made a classic, and I actually got to rock with ASAP Mob, and I went in the studio and we did ASAP Mob, what time is it? So it was a generational thing. Like,
sure.
They understood it and they was part of it. So that was a classic we did. And that was with Rhea Perlman, the little lady from Cheers.
Yeah.
And we had some great scenes, and Terrence Howard was my first acting coach because I was on the set and he was telling me how to navigate through the scenes.
He said, "This is how you do this scene, man."
Yeah, for real. And I listened because he was more, he was already established as an actor, and I knew who he was, and he was a great acting coach.
Crazy. That's crazy, man. And if you think about it, right, even like down to Drake referencing you in the song. So you talked about
Yellow Goose.
Yeah, like Fredro Starr, the Yellow
like
Goose.
Fredro Starr and the Yellow Goose. Wow, shout to Drake, man.
When you heard that bar, what was your first thought?
I was like, this kid knows hip hop.
Yeah.
And the way he put it, because
he finessed it.
No, because stunting hard, because I never thought about it like, I'm stunting hard in the Yellow Goose.
But when you see the scene.
But here's the thing about that Yellow Goose. There was a conflict with the wardrobe, because I said I want a yellow goose, and they was like, "You want a yellow goose? Are you sure?" I said, "Yeah, I want a yellow goose with the Timbs. It's gonna match." And they went out and found the yellow goose.
Crazy.
That was like my vision. I wanted a yellow goose with the Timberlands.
Crazy.
So they let me be creative as far as, bringing my character to life as far as wardrobe. Because when you saw the movie like that, you sit with the wardrobe person.
It was authentic.
What do you like?
Yeah, you see
Let's go through a couple of books, and we want to know how you want to dress. And they work with me. So, when Drake referenced it, I was like, wow, he kind of. And then they came out with the Yellow Goose Nike. And then check this out. So Nike comes out with, I think, the guy from Drake's camp, and it's called there's a Yellow Goose.
Yeah, they did the Nocta, right?
The Nocta. They did, and then it's called Yellow Goose Nocta. To keep it real, I never got a package at all.
Yeah, send a pack. And send a couple of dollars too.
I mean, I never got a. This is real. Send
a pack.
Real talk. I never got a pack, but this is my creation.
Right.
The Yellow Goose.
Right.
I started that wave.
That's crazy. Fredro Starr's here. You know what? We're going to play some of my favorite joints, man. It's Rock the Bells Radio. I want to hear live niggas. Can we get it live?
Another one of my production.
Yeah, man. Let's get into this live, man, off the show soundtrack?
Yeah, show soundtrack.
Yeah, man. Let's do it. It's Rock the Bells Radio. It's not a game. You tapped in with your boy Torae. It is Rock the Bells Radio. Listen, before I did anything in the world, I'm a fan of hip hop, and I love to contribute any way I can. So we can sit up here and talk for hours on end. But the book is out there right now. What is the most surprising thing or the thing that people will learn when they pick this up?
Just how the dynamics of Onyx was. You know what I mean? There's a movie called The Five Heartbeats. I always say Onyx is like the five heartbeats of hip hop. You know what I mean?
Okay.
When you're dealing with a group, you got different members in the group, and you have to come as a team to win that championship. And we had a winning team in the first album. After the first album, Big DS kind of fell out of the group because he felt like he wasn't getting his shine. When we first started Onyx, we started with Big DS, rest in peace, Sun C Suave, and Fredro Starr. We had a record called We Do It Like This on Profile Records. This is before we met Jam Master Jay. Sticky was not in the group. Right. So now Sticky comes in the group, and he's like the lead voice in the group, so Big DS has to take a back seat. And you see the turmoil and what the groups go through. And I don't know if other groups go through. I know Bone Thugs, they got they got their dynamics.
Yeah, for sure.
And we had our dynamics. But you didn't see it with us. So this book where you'll see the dynamics of how a group comes together and wins. And then we lose a member. Because in that book, DS says, fuck Onyx. So he had to leave the group once he says that, and it's the five heartbeats of hip hop. And I think once people read it, they're gonna be like, "Wow, I didn't know it went down like that." And the book ends when we won the Soul Train Award for Best Rap Album in 1994, beating out Diggable Planets, great album they had, Noid by Nature, great album, and we won. We got the gold. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it ends on a Soul Train getting one. And the next book starts with our Soul Train Award actually disappearing from our house.
Oh, okay. I like that. He left it open-ended, you know what I mean? Backdoor pilot shit.
Yeah.
We saw, like you spoke about the dynamic, right? So, Shot Skills, Big DS going. Obviously, we see you and Sticky still doing shows together. What's your relationship with Sun C like?
Suave, he just said he don't want to rap no more.
Okay.
You know, he's good. I think he's doing other businesses. He got a record called Slam.
How you feel about that?
He really, Sun C, he could just check the mailbox and just live his life. Right? Yeah.
No doubt.
Slam, let me tell you something about Slam. When we made Slam, we didn't think about basketball. We didn't think about sports when we made the record Slam. We just thought about, we want to be like Bad Brains and Nirvana, CBG. We want to bring this slam dance culture to hip hop.
Yeah.
Beastie Boys, shout to the Beastie Boys. We didn't think about basketball. But when we put that Slam record out, now Slam has to be one of the most licensed songs in hip hop because basketball games picked it up. ESPN, I can't count how many times they licensed this thing. And then we did the Major League Baseball video game, Slam out the park. We did wrestling, Slam, all the video games. We did Y2K, the video game, Slam. So that song, Ice Cube movie, Slam, like it's just countless times this record is. So Sun C don't gotta work.
The gift that keeps on giving. You know what I mean?
The gift that keeps on
Me
giving.
And Marco. And thank you so much, man, because on Marco Polo and I's first album, the Double Barrel album, we sampled y'all.
Shout to Sky Zoo.
Shout to my brother Sky Zoo. We sampled y'all on the joint and
I know, I heard it. Yeah.
But you show love. You show love. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
But I want to talk to you about your business acumen before we get up out of here, because obviously you come in the game, you're coming from the street, you're not really understanding publishing, and you're not understanding that these records are going to be licensed and synced and all this for years to come. Did you guys come in, or did Jam Master Jay give you guys the tutelage, or how did you learn to hold on to your rights and just to be able to continue to live off your work for decades later?
I mean, Jam Master Jay put us in the game. We had a good deal with Jay. It was a 50-50 deal, and we just worked it, Universal Publishing, shout to Universal Publishing. They keep the record moving. I didn't know Slam was gonna be that big, but it's worldwide, man, and it's something that, and I tell artists all the time, just work, because you never know what that record is going to do. You never know who's being affected by that record. I didn't know kids was in different countries, in different places, rocking to my music. So all the artists, man, just keep doing what you're doing, man. You never know, 30 years later, that record might be paying your bills forever.
That's a fact. Well, I said the gift that keeps on giving, because Marco and I had a joint on there that we made for a soundtrack that in the 11th hour they didn't use, and Marco was like, let's just put it on the album. And I'm like, nah, we made it for some specific. Long story short, we put on the album. That shit been licensed a million times since then. You know what I mean? And so it's like,
you already know.
Yeah, it's just free money at this point. You know what I mean? Just check the mailbox. So we got more books coming, next installments of it. Obviously, you back producing, so we gonna cook up. What's going on outside of that? What's some of your next steps?
Oh man, I just wrote a movie. Forrest Whitaker, his first movie, he directed. He found young talent. So I'm directing my first movie. It's called The Tunnel. I know you know about the club The Tunnel.
Of course.
All right. Well, it's about these kids trying to get to the tunnel. And it's kind of like The Warriors, kind of like the movie Judgment Night, which we had a song in the soundtrack.
Yeah, with Biohazard.
Yeah, and they get caught in the projects. They get trapped in the projects trying to get to the tunnel. This is a true story that happened to me when I was walking through Chelsea projects trying to get to the tunnel. Niggas chased me around and shit. Like, you know what I mean? They're trying to rob us. So I made a story about it. So we will be casting. We looking for talent. I just talked to you about it. We will be filming Lower East Side, Manhattan. I want to make it a New York movie, and we're probably going to start filming this summer. So tap in with me. It's going to be my first movie I'm directing. The Tunnel.
Crazy, man. Listen, stay tapped in with everything Fredro got going on. But right now, like right now, go pick up a copy of the book. How can they grab the book?
Amazon. Everything is on Amazon, the Kindle. And, the audio book will be out, too. I did the audio book. I didn't want no AI trying to, you know what I mean, trying to read my story. This is my story. I did the audio book. The audio book is 3.5 hours. So if you got a long drive from, somewhere, you can throw that on. So Bacdafucup, the Story of Onyx is out. Love is love. Love hip-hop.
Crazy, man. Well, thank you so much for not only pulling up on us today, but for all your contributions to the culture, to hip-hop. Like I said, man, we gotta do a part 2 and part 3 of this conversation because there's so much to get into.
Oh, but hold on. Before we stop, I'm with my boy Johnny Voga right here.
Okay.
I think his album, I produced his album, is Grammy worthy. And
he snuck in.
He has a Grammy worthy album.
Okay.
And I want you to hear it. I want you a private listening because I know you the Grammy guy, right?
I'm a guy there.
Yeah,
I'm a guy there.
I see you with the black suit on. Don't, you know what I mean? I be seeing you at your premieres looking real sharp.
Right now I got on a white tee, a City Lab white tee.
I see you, man. I see you out there, man. But man, I've been producing. 100 Matters, a label. Johnny Voga album is coming out. So yeah, that's it.
Dope, man. Make sure you support everything Fredro Starr got going on. It's Rock the Bells Radio. I want to close out. We got to walk in New York.
We in New York, right?
We got to walk in New York. It's only
let's
right.
do this, man.
It's LL Cool J's Rock the Bells Radio.